hate people that can't communicate. I think they're fundamentally losers. I think that they shouldn't be allowed to have a cell phone or have a platform or anything like that. Listen, I sound like a hater right now, and I don't really take this that personally, but when I message somebody and they don't respond to me in a timely, orderly fashion, I look at them and I'm like, you're just not organized. I don't want you in my life, and you don't have your shit together, fundamentally. So, look, I get a lot of messages every day. People try to DM me and, they try to reach me. And if they can't get a hold of me within a reasonable amount of time, there's a link in my bio that you can connect to and talk to my admin. There are companies that I have where you can call people. There's a way to get a hold of me. Like, I'm going to look at your message. If my managers or my admin thinks it's like worthwhile, she's going to give me that message. They're going to give me that message. They're going to say, hey, like, you need to talk to this person. That's it. You're going to get a hold of me. There's always a way that you'll get a hold of me. But people that just won't give you a response, I think that, number one, you're a pussy for not responding. If you really don't like me, just tell me to my face. Number two, you don't have your shit together. You're not organized. And last but not least, you don't deserve to be at the level that you're at. You don't deserve it, and your brand is going to fall apart. If you get to a point where you can't answer the messages that are coming in, hire somebody, hire an assistant. You're probably getting a lot of messages because you probably have something valuable. You're bringing value to the world. So you should operate accordingly and make sure there's a process, because you never know who's going to message you. You never know who's going to reach out, and you never know who's going to want to grab coffee with you or really engage with you. Another thing that pisses me off is that people that don't go out of their way to meet people, to network. I think that if you're not networking constantly or you're not trying to build relationships, you're fundamentally degrading and regressing in business. Now, there's a lot of people that I won't grab coffee with. There's a lot of people that I won't sit down with because I just don't have time. But I will say, hey, why don't you grab coffee with this person that works for me? Why don't you grab coffee with this individual? And I'll let that person go out there and find out information and see if it makes sense. Sometimes it's not always me going out and reaching out to people, but it's a person that's an extension of me that's going out there. But if you're too cool to grab coffee with somebody, fundamentally, it means that you might be very busy and you're doing a lot of things, which people can judge, or you're just not built for business. You're just not built for growth. And that's okay. Not a lot of people are built for that, but the messaging thing is the worst part about it. If you have a platform on social media, if you have a platform where people can reach out to you and you're not responding, it's an instant slap in the face. It's disrespect. And maybe sometimes you want to give someone disrespect. Maybe sometimes you want to let people know, like, yo, I don't fuck with you. I'm not going to respond. That's a very clear message. But if you're someone that messages me later like, oh, my bad, dude, I was really busy. Like, how busy are you? Do you fucking know how busy I am? Do you know how much shit I have to deal with on a day-to-day basis? Do you know how many emails and messages I get on a day-to-day, hour-to-hour basis? You could not comprehend, which is why I have people in place to handle those things. Even when I didn't have people to handle these things, I was still responding. And when I got to a point where I couldn't handle 100 messages a day, I was like, time to delegate, to elevate. You got to learn to respond to your messages. You've got to learn to talk to people. You've got to learn to communicate. If someone doesn't make sense for you, say no and look at the relationship later. You don't want to burn that bridge, even if it doesn't make sense for you. And if someone is good for you, obviously engage in some kind of communication. And there's people that will come into my DM that are filled with opportunity, that are filled with positivity, that I definitely want to interact with. And I would never be able to get to them if I'm not checking my messages, if I don't have my admin on top of it, or if I don't have people in place to look at this stuff. When someone doesn't know how to communicate, or they're like, hey, I'm not good at texting or communicating, you're a fucking loser. Get out of my life. Stay the fuck away from me. And that's it.